Hi, Storyteller Bats for April today. So we dyed up Faroe Isle wool last week, and I did a little bit of a bio on that type of fibre last week as well on my video chat, my batt-Part Thursday. So these are the results of what we got last week. So we end up dyeing the purpley colour, which is from this picture image. So we've got this purpley colour, you've got this grey colour, a lighter shade, then we've got this, it's really dark navy blue, and then we've got this raspberry pink, olive green, and then we've got this sandy stone colour. But there's also other pigments in there. You've got this really bright emerald green in here, and a dark, a more mid-tone green in there. And I'll be adding those colours in as I go along, maybe as pops as highlights or colours to help enhance. These are going to be quite unusual types bats, so they're not my usual blend-ins because of the colours that we've got. It's not going to be for everybody, okay? Certainly not for me anyway. So what we ended up with this lilac-y coloured, it was a grey, light grey Faroe Isle. Then we dyed over the brown and we got this gorgeous navy blue, okay? And that's what's great about dyeing over darker wools. If you've got any at home, you're not sure what to do with them, if you'd use a dark colour to dye over the top of them, you will get a true dark colour. Now this has still got a bit of fade through it, but I don't mind, but majority of it is grey and light grey patches. Then we dyed this wool here, which is a wool blend, and it's got flax in there, it's got silk in it, and blue-faced Leicester. Okay, so we did that, and we dyed up, so that was in the pink, the raspberry pink, so it's come out more muted because of the alpaca that's in there as well. Then we've got the olive green, and it's a bit more bolder on the versions of the faux mohair. Get there eventually. So out of that we ended up with as well the brown one, which was over grey as well, but we wanted the more muted tone, so a beigey colour. So that's what we're going to go with today. So I've just sorted out my blending fibres, and we're going to go with the colours on here. So we're going to go with an olive green, and we've got a bit more olive green because of the brown, and then it'll go well with the purple colour and a hint of blue in there. And I'm going to add in some spot of green, emerald green, because that's on the wings. And this has got a natural blend, it's got a hint of green in there as well. So we're going to mix those all together. I'm trying to put the colours together so they actually suit, because brown's really, even though it's a natural colour in the sense of you see it around in nature quite a lot, it's quite a hard colour to blend other colours with. So I thought I'll get the hardest one out the way, and I have also got some of this dual coloured Angelina that I want to pop in there, because there's a tiny bit of pink, not a lot of it, but I want to use that to help highlight. I don't want to add any more. I do have some really vibrant pink merino, which I will use with the other two colours later on down the line. So I'm going to put these to one side for now, because I don't need them today. And we've got all that fibre left for the last two bats that we'll do over the next couple of weeks. So I hope you enjoy this video. Remember, you can put like down on the comments to help support my channel. It really does help. I know you support me as members, but also on YouTube it really does help my my channel grow as well. Even if it's only a small amount of people that are watching the video, it helps with the algorithms. Anyway, I'll get on. So we've got this, it's a merino with sari silk, not a lot, just a tiny bit, and it has got some mulberry silk in there as well, and I'll have to remember to write this down so I remember what's in there. This is a alpaca viscose and tussar silk blend. Then we have got some merino in this dark olive. We've gone with the darker version of the olive and not the lighter version, which I'll save for another day, so we'll split that up. And I've just remembered I need to put aside a blend set, don't I? So I'll just take that bit and that bit, put them over there, and then one of these and a bit of that. Do you know, need to do a blend set, Joe. And then take one of those and half of that, and then we'll do this. Right, so we'll split that in half, put that over there, and then 1, 2, that bright pink. Then we've got the Faroe Isle in the, what's going to represent as the nest. There we go. Put that there. We'll split that up into 3. It's a very fine feeling wool, and it's soft to the touch, and yeah, you can feel it's not the softest of wools on your skin, but it really does make for some really good outer garments, heavy jumpers, that sort of thing. Hold on a second. Right, put that there, put that one there, split that into 3. Okay, and then we've got a hint of that dark blue. Even though you can't see on the picture, I think it represents the shadows in the actual image that we've got. And some of this lime green, this cashmere as well. Okay. Cashmere faux mohair, Joe. Honestly, it's been a long weekend, folks, a very long weekend. So we have got, I think these colours down here, these shady colours are the ones that are represented by the dark blue, and then we've got the beak. So yeah, they didn't want to go for this really dark black colour. It's more of a navy blue. So that's what we're sticking with, and that's what we're going with. Good luck on the blending of this one. It definitely isn't my thingy. I was hoping, with it being a spring video, the spring theme, I mean, I put pictures up of lovely spring flowers and everything else, and I've been blending up all these dark moody colours for the last couple of months, and I really needed a shoot of colour. So please, in May, it is my birthday month, can we please have some really bright colour votes, so I don't have to go through the month of May blending up and dyeing up dowdy dark colours. It gets a bit much after a while. Right, so we're gonna get on with this. I'll turn you around so you can see the board. I think what I'm going to actually do is add in a little bit more green into this one. This is the batt, so I'm going to add in a little bit more of the green, the olive green, just so I've got a bit more weight to it, because they're not very big batts. They're just over 100 grams this week, so I'll just point you down this way. So I'm going to start with this. So if you're blending up a roving, and I always usually just split them down lengthways because it's easier for blending on, but you want to pull your fibres really well apart, okay? Because if you don't, and you end up with thick lumps like this section here, it grabs onto the front liquor of your drum carder, and you end up brushing off more than you're actually blending on. Okay. And I think I'm just going to do solid layering to a point. Or do I want to paint on this one? I'm not quite sure how I want to go with this. I think I'm just going to open this one up as well. Yeah, I think so. Then we're going to open this up. I'm going to put this through. And you've got the spots of the brown and the spots of the purple blended in together, so it's coming out more like a mushroomy colour. So I think I'm going to go with this bit of green next. I'm going to add this in. I'm just going to willy-nilly it on, paint it onto the backdrop, because I don't mind the colours popping through, but I don't want it to be the bold statement colour. And I'm going to paint this one on as well. Actually, you might as well just open it up, split it in half, open it up, make sure your fibres aren't going to stick to your front liquor, and just open it along that front bit. Add a bit more. I'm going to get my blend of Tissue Silk and Viscose and Alpaca, and I'm going to paint that on there. Then I'm going to get my spot of my pink. It's going to really pop now. And then I'm going to add in some of my blue, and that'll help calm down that pink a little so it's not so in your face. And then go in with my olive green. There we go. And then add in some Angelina, and I'm just going to repeat that and we'll see what it looks like. I'm going to put this straight into the backdrop. And we're just going to repeat that process, and that's really all it is to blend in. It's not rocket science, and it actually doesn't look half as bad as what I was expecting. But I think the reason why you're here is to see what it's like to put colours together, to get the certain to experiment, and for you guys to feel a little bit more emboldened to go and try yourself. Sometimes the colours that you think would never go well together are usually the best looking ones that come out. And I think by not making sure that this brown is the main colour of objection, because really on the picture it isn't, it's the bird that's the main picture of focus. So with the brown being on here as the base way, and then spread out like that, then adding in the purpley colour. And they're not solid, they're a semi-solid. So you still got, even though it's tinted, you still got the hint of the grey coming through there. It's not, on the camera it looks like it's the true grey. It's not, it's a very, very soft, subtle shade of this purple. It's my light that makes it look as though it's really quite grey looking. So again, going with the green. Because on this bat I don't want it to be the main focus. And then I'm going to split this and I'm going to put that over the top. And I'm using this because obviously, because we're focusing on the nesty sort of section this time round, this one helps calm these colours down, I feel. Right, bit of this olive, and we're going to split this. We're not going to split it, we're going to open it up, split it open, draft it out so it'll go on there. Add my pink in again. Go in with a dash of the blue. Add in the olive colour. And a dash of this two-toned Angelina. And then I'm going to pack that down. And then this is the last layer. I'm going to split this one open this time because it's quite long. Okay, then the purple. There we go. And then we're going to put in this bright green. blend. When you're painting onto your drum card like that and putting it straight onto here, what it does, to a point, gives you more control over where the fiber's going. It will snag and try and tug it out of your hand, but it does give you a different way of applying the fiber onto there. I mean, if you wanted a straight line, you could quite easily paint that in the same place all the way around to just keep drum carding and then put different colours all along. Otherwise, really what you want to do is just pull your roving and draft it out really thinly, and then put that in one place and then blend that on, and you will get a stripe of colour on the back of your drum card. But that's not what I want to do today anyway. So, but just it's good for putting small things on like Angelina and your silks and things like that, especially if you just want to do it wishy-washy. So when this comes off, it's going to have a mild effect when it's spun as a wool. So you're going to get pops of colours go out throughout the yarn with a base colour of the browns, the mushroomy sort of colourway, with the hint of the green in there, the bright green, and then you're going to have the pops of the blues, and the olive is the main colour that you're seeing all the way through this. And again, last of the Angelina, and this time I'm just going to spread it out along the back or the bottom there on the liquor, and then I'm going to card at the same time. And there we go. As simple as that. It's just about putting colours together. I mean, if you want to do this for a living, and I hope that's not the reason why you're here, to learn, so you can do this for a living, but if you were to be doing this for a living, you have to always remember that the colours that you blend together might not be for you, but they might tick somebody else's boxes. Just like when you get an order from somebody and they, like for instance, I get asked to do these picture references, or somebody will send me a photograph of something like a bunch of flowers on a table. What colours I can see aren't always a colour that the person can see. And sometimes they're more influenced to the things that stick out most to them. And just because it doesn't sound right to you, you have that conversation with them. You're like, well, I can see this, and but I can see what you can say, but I can see this is more dominant. What do you think? And then maybe they're like, oh yeah, actually that is, but that one's sticking out more. So I thought that had to be the main colour. Sometimes those are the highlight colours. And you just want a background, and the reason why you're using that background colour is because it makes those little colours pop out even more, the ones that you see more of. Okay. Like on this with the brown for the nest, which I'll get the picture out again in a minute and I'll show you what I mean. The brown for the nest, I know that's the main background colour, but the colour that pops out the most to me is the pink and green. So if I had somebody come to me and say, oh, I love this picture, but I want it with that fluorescent pink in there and the green in there and a bit of the grey, and I'm like, yeah, no, I can see where you're coming from on that, but I would make sure that I would say that the darker grey on there, that grey there and that grey there with that and that would stand out even more, rather than those two colours, those greens and that one. I think to a point it'd be wishy-washy, but with the grey generally has like a purpley undertone underneath it. So if you bring in the grey in, it's going to help this become a little bit more warmer with the purple or red blue sort of undertone that's in the colour pigment. Think of it the same as the paints that you get from your DIY store. They're not made up from one colour, they're made up from about 13 different shades and tones and pigments to make that specific colour that you want to use. Okay, This one here is probably the exact same as that when it comes to your dye. So if you wanted to make up a light grey and you've only got a dark grey, literally get a little pot of water with hot water and fill it up with your normal standard scoop. So actually, I'm going to have to talk over this one with you guys about creating different shades from your dye pigment. But you want to get 100 milliliters of water and say about a gram portion of dye. Then you want to get yourself a syringe, and with that syringe you want to lay up another 5 pots of warm water again. And then you want to get your syringe, and there's a plastic syringe, you can buy them off of Amazon. You can get your syringe and scoot that right up full. Okay, and there's usually about 100 milliliters, or about, I don't know, about 20 milliliters in a syringe or thereabouts. Pardon me. Pull that all up. Say if you had 25 milliliters, just for talk's sake, because I've got 5. So you want to scoosh all that dye pigment that you've got there. That's 100. That's a 100 milliliter concentrate. So scoot up the full syringe size and pour that into one of your already watered down pots. Right, your pot of water on its own. And then you go in with your syringe again and go down to 20 milliliters and put that in your second pot. Go back into your dye stock that you've made up with your 100 mils and scoot up your syringe to 15 milliliters and scoot that in your third pot. Then your fourth pot, go down to 10 milliliters, scoot that in, and then go down to 5 milliliters and put that in your very last pot. The very last pot is the one that's going to give you the really, really watered down version of that grey. Okay, it's going to give you a really, really light, but the only point being with that is it's going to strike your wheel really, really quick, because there isn't a lot of dye pigment in there. Okay, we'll talk about this later on down the line. I think we'll approach this round about the summertime, which is usually a time when you guys will want to go and put them outside, do all this sort of stuff, and then you can dry your wheels and your experiments more outside than inside. I dry them inside and I dye all year round because I have to. But you guys may be putting it off for the better weather coming, so that way you've not got reams of wool lying all over your radiators when you've not got your essential heating on, but the weather's all right and you stick the stuff out. So yeah, there we go. So what we've ended up with is more of quite a browny, woodlandy sort of looking blend. There we go. And because it's going to be a sock fibre, or spun into a yarn that's going to be socks, because of the blend. Oh, what's going on here? It's got caught. Hold on a sec. There we go. Because of the fibres that we've used, i.e. the Faroe Isle wool, it's not something you're going to be wearing a lot of. A pair of welly boot socks or something like that would be really quite cool in this wool, because it's harder wearing and it spins up really, really nicely. Right, there we go. Got myself all of a tangle then. Hold on a second. So this is what we've ended up with. Now, the brown's calmed down a heck of a lot, and we've ended up with that fawny colour which we needed at the bottom here for the nest. Then we've got the pops of colour from the green and the pink and the blue representing the shade. And I would have probably have better off going with a black for doing that. But I'll have a look through my stash for next time. But then we won't have to worry about it, because we've got the dark charcoal grey, we've got the navy blue next. And we've still got some of that purple left over. So those are the two bats we've got next. So that's what we've ended up with. Okay, it's calmed that right down now with that browns. The browns don't look so in your face. And I think with the purple we've done as those layers and blended the purple and the brown together at the same time, it's calmed that down to give it more of a sandy sort of look. Plus I put in that blended fibre into there as well. So it's really calmed it down. It's given it more of a whimsical sort of look, more than an in-your-face browns and purples and vivid pinks and everything else. But it'll be an interesting one to spin up. So if you buy this one, let me know how it goes and show me a sample on Instagram. I'm quite happy to have a look and see what you came up with. Yeah, so this will be on the website in 2 more Sundays time. Sorry the videos are late at the moment. Life takes over, folks. It's just the way it is at the moment. My father-in-law's been in hospital for the last 8 weeks and feels back and forth to the hospital all the time at the moment. So yeah, bear with me. I won't forget yous. I don't forget you. And we'll have to have a chat about what we're going to do in May. Yeah, we'll have to have a chat about that one. So take care of yourselves. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I shall catch up with you next Sunday. Speak to you soon. Don't forget Q&A, and if you're putting a question down, 1 or 2 questions in your post, please. Not multiple questions, because I won't be answering them all.